Downtown Steamboat, the heart of Steamboat Springs. Steamboat Springs was settled back in 1875 by Colonel James Crawford. He built the first permanent settler's cabin on the banks of the Yampa River that runs through downtown Steamboat. In 1880, James and his brother John built and ran the first business in Steamboat Springs called the Steamboat Springs Company, selling plots of land to future settlers from anywhere from $12 to $22. In 1883, H.H. Suttle brought a sawmill to Steamboat and the construction boom began. New businesses started popping up and down Lincoln Avenue. On July 31st, 1885, James Hoyle printed the first edition of the Steamboat Pilot, which is still in circulation today. And by 1905, Lincoln Avenue had a creamery, a blacksmith, livery stables, a saddlery, a hat maker, and a grocery store. Many of the buildings that these businesses were in still stand. Lincoln Avenue is where you came to buy a lasso, shoe your horse, get a haircut. Not much different than it is today. On December 18, 1908, the Pacific Railroad finished laying the tracks for the first trains to Steamboat Springs. Less than 1 month later, the first passenger trains arrived, opening up tourism to our beloved valley. The nationally famous Cabin Hotel opened in 1909. The Bud Werner Library now stands where this once famous hotel used to stand. Visitors would come in search of the many mineral springs that exist toward the west end of town and be pampered at the Cabin Hotel. More than 100 mineral springs have been identified in the Steamboat Springs area. Many are small and unnamed. The best-known springs, including the famous Steamboat Spring, can be found at the west end of town and are marked for your finding. When you come down to Lincoln Avenue, you might ask why the street's so wide. Well, with the arrival of the train, Steamboat Springs eventually became the largest shipping point for cattle in the United States, along with the need to turn a horse and buggy around in the street. We needed a wide street, so they built Lincoln Wide. In 1913, Steamboat Springs was fortunate to have the arrival of a Norwegian ski jumper, Carl Halson, who is now known as the father of recreational skiing. In 1915, he opened up a section of Emerald Mountain, now called Howelson Hill, to ski jumping, slalom, and downhill skiing. This forever changing Steamboat Springs from a summer destination to the winter recreational paradise it is today. It is said that Howelson Hill is the oldest continually operating ski area west of the Mississippi River. In 1914, Carl Howelson started the Winter Carnival. This annual tradition takes place on Lincoln Avenue during the second week of February. One of the highlights is the Steamboat Springs High School Marching Band performing and marching downtown Lincoln Avenue on skis. This is the only band in the nation that marches on skis. This tradition is still enjoyed here in Steamboat Springs today. The vital heart of every town used to be the main thoroughfare. Unfortunately, that is changing in many towns across this great country. We are fortunate to have our Lincoln Avenue. It is truly the heart of our town. Parades, Winter Carnival, and Halloween are just some of the activities that take place downtown that bring our community together. Our downtown is rich in pioneering history, ski history, Olympian history, ranching history, farming history, and outlaw history. Butch Cassidy, Harry Tracy, and David Lant have all been spotted just across the Yampa River in the now residential area called Brooklyn. It was kind of a bad boy borough that gave the Wild West its reputation for red light districts, saloons, and gunslingers. So, when you come downtown and step into some of our old buildings, you are truly taking a step back in time.